Oh yeah, it's true, huh? Alright, I'm live now, so... No passwords. Heading to my freelancer. So did you get the waypoint for the derelict ship?
I see it was seen. Is it?
800,000 some odd.
Yep, straight ahead off the end of the, more or less to the right of the station.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, we got the same one. Right. So
I'm,
now I start my ship up because we've made this tedious now.
ship's pretty close to the... Get in over here just so we don't... My ship spawned and it's right next to some geometry, and it looks like if the hatch comes down, it will flip the ship over.
Where are you at?
E08 landing pad. I'm getting in the ship right now.
You must have been right next to me. You in the freelancer?
I am. Yeah, I spawned.
Yeah, you were right next to me. Yeah,
Just in
you're
case
fine.
we needed cargo or something.
No, you look fine from where I'm looking. I don't know what you were seeing.
I'm
As
in
long as
now.
you take off straight up.
Flight ready.
Alright, so I have not done the. I tried to do a mission. I tried to do the investigation mission, the one at the station,
Hmm?
and then I couldn't get my stupid Mobi-Glass to open.
Kind of what happened to me too. I got stuck in my cockpit. I couldn't get out to get the interaction. Alright, so let's...
Alright, so for travel,
You gotta open your map,
get the star map.
and then... Here's what I haven't been able to figure out. The star map does not have any indicators on where your quest is. But with a little deductive reasoning, you can kind of work it out. So it'll be at one of the POIs. Okay, we're there. 800,000 kilometers away, so yeah, okay. Now, I'm actually seeing a objective on the star map. I don't know if they changed that, but
I'm not.
it's at Delamar. So you gotta zoom out. It's at one of the far...
Derelict. Okay, I see derelict site.
Yep. So we'll go there.
So you just click it.
You just click it, and then you have to, down at the bottom, click Set Destination. And that sets it as a...
Set in destination. Okay.
As a quantum... You'll see a different waypoint show up for Delamar.
Yep.
And then you can accelerate towards it.
Once I set it, I closed the Mobi-Glass. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why is my ship spinning?
Yeah, sometimes your Mobi-Glass interaction UI, your mouse overrides, and you start, like, moving your ship, but when you're moving your mouse... It's hard to describe, but basically when you're moving your mouse around your UI, it's thinking you're moving your ship.
Alright, where'd my destination went away?
Yep, and sometimes that happens too because you're moving around. It's a little finicky. Might have to reset it.
Okay. Well, now the point that we had at Delamar is gone. I see Delamar, but I no longer see derelict site. Which one?
Yeah, I think you probably still have the quest, but we lost the tracking on it because your ship was spinning there or whatever. So
Back to accepted.
should be able to track it.
I'll hit untrack. Alright, it says tracked again. I don't know if that's going to affect it, but let's see.
And I've got it as well. It'll probably be in the same place for both of us.
So can I fly just to Delamar and get there, or am I going to have to?
Yeah, no, you have to quantum to Delamar, and then once we're in that, call it localization grid. Once we're in Delamar's immediate airspace, then we have to find the derelict site. There's usually a waypoint. Might take us a minute to get there though, because the travel is.
All right, longer. What am I using to execute quantum jumps? Because something's not right.
B, and sometimes it's like you have to push and hold it once you're mousing over Delamar.
There it goes. Okay. But see, I don't think I had it as a destination. I think I'm just going.
In my experience, you can't actually just go anywhere. You have to have your HUD on top of a POI in order to like go there.
But I still have. Okay, I had the derelict site waypoint on my general HUD. I didn't have it in our map, but I was moused over the derelict site, and it appears to be taking me there. So let's see.
Okay.
Either that, or I'm going to fly right by it.
Yeah, I think they've kind of basically taken away the ability to just jump wherever. You have to go to a POI now.
Alright, so is that you ahead of me, I guess?
Potentially. I don't see you on radar. I'm cycling.
I see hotshot, okay. Now, they took away the ability to see people on the UI. Well, not on the UI, but on
the radar.
Well, on the ship displays.
Yeah, so there's another display that you can program, and it's called, like, contacts. Go to menu, comms. So if I'm doing the interaction system, I'm on one of my panels, and I've gone to the main menu of the panel, and I've gone down to comms, and I see you as a contact in the comms. I just don't see you on my radar is all.
Because I used to highlight the ship, it would show the ship, you'd be able to see what it was and all that shit. And...
Oh yeah, the wheel, the shield and weapon status. I think you can still do that, but you have to put it on a panel.
Well, I don't, unless I'm missing what the come on. Because the choices under menu is weapons, shields, energy, comms, and heat.
Yep. Comms is the contacts.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not seeing like a target option, but I mean, they did say kind of the whole point of the different panels there was to be able to program however you want, right? You can display whatever information you want on them. There are little arrows to like change between. A lot of that isn't fully implemented yet, but.
So is this going to be on the planet or in space?
Tough to tell. It looks like it might be on the other side of Delamar, but it might be in orbit. I'm heading towards there now, about 110 kilometers away.
Yeah, I'm only 80, so I'm ahead of you. If you see me.
My landing gear toggle might be.
Well, no, just maybe a faster ship too. I don't know.
I'm not boosting, so let me boost. I'm now about 1,000 meters a second.
Yeah, I'm 1,080.
Yeah, I wasn't boosting, I was just... So now I'm closing rapidly on derelict.
I'm slowing down, I guess by default it's slowing me down because I'm getting close to the surface. Okay, I see the surface.
When you enter the atmosphere, there's a maximum safe speed that you can go, and if you exceed that speed, you'll start losing control of your ship. It'll feel like turbulence. You'll be going in a straight line, but your ship will be swaying from side to side and getting kicked around and spinning around. That happens if you're exceeding your max safe speed, and the max safe speed does display on the HUD there. So
yep,
it looks like it might be on the surface there. Huh? It's hard to say, but
I
maybe
can't even. It's so dark. I can't even tell how close to the ground I am.
It does look like the dark side, right? So might have to bust out some flashlights.
It's so freak. I can't even.
Explain me the max speed you can have. It's only in re-entry in atmosphere, I guess.
The max save speed didn't pop up until we were actually making re-entry.
Yeah, when you go into
Okay.
entry. So if you're watching my stream
Shit,
here,
there's
I'm gonna
black-
start.
There's like
No, I'm not. But listening. So it's really they're accounting the friction of the atmosphere.
Exactly.
well, they are and they aren't. You can't see me, but I'm literally just stopping in midair. So I don't know.
So
but then
they've
again, I don't
done.
know.
You can like hover and things like that, and they say that in lore justification for it is that there are ships that can hover, right? Helicopters and ospreys and stuff like that. So they're saying, yeah, you can hover and stuff. There is resistance and drag. You are in a different environment. The effectiveness of that environment on your flight model depends on the type of ship you're in. If you are in a streamlined ship, it's gonna work better in an atmosphere than if you're in a flying box, you know.
How the hell did you get ahead of me?
I think I am.
You just popped up in front of me.
I see somebody 10 kilometers ahead at the derelict site. I'm descending into the atmosphere now.
See, I've already like been at planet level for like 5 minutes flying. I'm like flying over the.
So you're flying over the mountains and stuff. I boosted to above the derelict site.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then
I've been
going
flying.
down.
There's all kind. Just be careful. There's all kinds of like.
Mountains. So yeah, pay attention to your altitude. You gotta have to fly by wire when it's dark like this.
Oh shit! My current altitude was -5. How does that work?
You're in a ravine.
All right, I can't get. I'm trying to get control back, and this is a pain in the butt.
This is pretty dramatic. I'm holding off of about 1,000 meters away, about a kilometer away from the site, and I'm seeing kind of the terrain. It's all dark though because we're on the dark side of the moon. It's very dramatic. It's pretty nice. So it looks like it's an outpost that we're going to. Oh no, it's just a really busted up ship here.
Whoa. Hold up. All right.
Somebody's got their lights on it though. I'm gonna try to sit down.
Landing gear down.
See how
So can you encounter other players? Like,
Yeah.
is it open world?
It's a
like
full.
MMO?
It's
Up
a
to
full
50
MMO.
people per server, per instance.
Well, and then so when the game launches, there are 50 people per instance now. But when the game launches, they're gonna have shards, and it'll be integrated clustering between the shards. So like if I go to a different sector or whatever, if I'm on a certain quest or looking for a certain objective, like a bounty hunter target, which might be a person, it'll match me into their server.
What the fuck is going on here?
I was
That's
talking
not good.
I was talking to Dan, and I was saying that one of the coolest things that the game could implement, because it doesn't seem to be anything yet, is multi-screen captions, meaning not just like having two screens and having a higher resolution, but really like your middle screen is your main cockpit, your top screen is your rear view.
There's people already doing that.
You can actually do that, and what happens is they use a piece of software that maps a view on their hat
monitor, yeah.
to a certain location.
And then thereafter, you make it like like a real mech where you've got, just a little mini keyboard on the side. That's like it could be just a numpad with 20 keys maximum, and with a small screen or a iPad, and you've got your power management, on that little individual interface, your peripheral.
Yeah, they definitely, like, there's already
Peripheral,
hardware
sorry.
to do that. There's definitely already hardware to do that. And there's a, Evan actually bought it. It's a keyboard that has like 30 blank keys on it.
Yep.
And you can print your own labels or do whatever you want. And then, map those keys in game to whatever you need, really.
But then thereafter, you install, let's say, a little pad, iPad on this, or Samsung pad, whatever, and you just display your power management or your weapon management on that pad,
Yep,
and your little keyboard is to maintain this, or you could switch from weapon management to energy management to, I don't know,
I've actually already been
damage
doing
status.
that. There's an app on the iPad called Rocat, and it is an app. It's an app you install on an iPad or an Android tablet, and then an app you install on your PC, and you can essentially keybind a grid on the tablet. It shows up as just a blank grid. You can place buttons wherever you want. You can program it. You can put graphics on it. Whatever you need to do. It's called Rocat, and it will let you essentially keybind those virtual buttons on the virtual grid on your tablet to a key press in the game.
That sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, it actually works fairly well. I was using it for quite a while. It becomes a little cumbersome. Is this you in the Buccaneer?
Well, I guess with all the
That's the ship I had. I'm over here by the wreck. There's a yellow box on the ground that initially it said pick up, and then I thought I was carrying it, and then it fell on the ground, but when I hover over it now, it says place, and I just disconnected.
Oh, that's what it was. We got disconnected. Crap. Okay. Well, sorry, Zara. What was your question?
No, but that's it. If it becomes like very accessible, like you said, it becomes cumbersome. But I guess that's just because of the game stability at the moment and the testing, and it's not in alpha state. But eventually, when it's fully out, I guess those peripherals and interfaces will be more streamlined or more customizable. And I mean, that's my dream game, like building yourself like a mini cockpit in your living room with multiple joysticks, and not necessarily multiple joysticks, but those the keypads. Like that. I've already got like 3 15 inches that are good quality, but I just don't use them. I bought them from the office that they were getting rid of it, but I mean, I could be using this. I've got like right now probably 6 7 screens, but that becomes cumbersome with a single computer. So that was my idea behind pads. If I could just go buy a batch of 4 or 5 cheap pads, just so that I got a good display, not necessarily the ISN pads, but just so that I can link them to those peripherals and make myself a real cockpit. Well,
Yeah, you definitely can. There's actually a whole section on the Star Citizen forums to cockpit builds, and some people who are more talented than I have actually built entire full-on cockpits out of plywood and various materials. Some of the stuff is 3D printed, some of it is is crafted and milled out of metal. Some of it is just cut out of wood and plywood. But they've made like full-on cockpits that have joysticks and panels integrated into them, tablets integrated to them that run that like Rocat software, and they're using them in the beta, and it works fine. It's a little, it's a little hard to set up. They have a patch that comes out, they change all the key bindings, then all of a sudden your cockpit doesn't work right and you gotta go through and fight with it. But yeah, there's people that do it right now in the beta.
Well, I guess if you're willing to spend 25,000 on ships and to build up the game.
Well, and some of those guys, right,
fanatics.
and some of those guys, they work at like a manufacturing company that might have access to CNC machines and industrial 3D printers, and for them the cost is really muted quite a bit because they can just do it in their downtime at work or whatever, just pay materials. So
Are you seeing Crusader as an option?
nope. So I'm on the launch screen here. It doesn't look like there's a universe option. I'm going back, and then I'll go into the universe. There's no Crusader, so maybe I'm guessing the servers just crashed, like all of them. Unfortunately.
I'm gonna try. I was in the Revel in York earlier. I'm gonna look at one of the other ones, and I don't think we can join. Still can't join hangars.
So there is ArcCorp is actually in the game, and you can select the planet. However, all of the quantum drives, and I think this is intentional, don't have the distance to jump to ArcCorp. I think they're using that as a game limiting mechanic right now, and also to kind of test the distance of quantum jumps. But
well, they did say that all the features aren't fully implemented yet.
Exactly. So I suspect in an upcoming patch, ArcCorp will be, they'll increase the quantum jump range to allow people to jump to ArcCorp, and once you're on ArcCorp, you should be able to actually go into your hangar right from there. That's their intention.
The hangar on this right now isn't persistent. When I pulled the ship earlier, the same one wasn't there when I went back.
I'm finding that for a lot of stuff. On the PTU, it seems like maybe persistence has been disabled. My money isn't changing really from logins. The ships and the hangars aren't changing from one login to another, and the crime stat that I got earlier disappeared when I relogged. So they almost have to do that, though. The persistence, I think, is probably
that the crime was going to be. It did say the crime was going to be more of a reputation thing now, like because the first time that when you landed there and it said your crime rating went up, but you didn't actually get that. You had that circle with the 4 hashes on it.
Yep.
And I did the same thing, but I didn't get that. But then once I opened that ship that it was saying didn't belong to me, then I actually got the circle with the first hash mark. The first, I guess, official crime rating, tier 1 or whatever they're calling it. And you can, I did it earlier, you can pull the Earthster rover in your hangar and drive it around.
You can, you can actually launch. I was able to spawn the Ursa rover at Levski, and you can drive around the moon. You can load it into the back of a Constellation, because that's about the only ship in the game right now that's big enough. I suppose you could probably get it in a Starfarer if you tried real hard.
Yeah, I think it might. I tried it inside the hangar actually, and I think it was just because it was in the hangar, just a glitch. For some reason, the deck for the ramp that comes down was like a foot off the ground, so you couldn't actually, you collided with it instead of driving up on it to drive it in there.
Yep.
Let's see.
So, Twitter, Star Citizen just announced 15 minutes ago, Star Citizen 3.0 PTU servers will be taken offline in preparation for a new build in 15 minutes. And right on cue, at 10 o'clock my time, they dropped the servers and they are pushing a new build. So that's why we got disconnected. It wasn't a crash. They're actually doing some bug fixes for us today.
Alright, let's see if I can do this real quick.
But yeah, you can load the rover in one of the larger ships, fly it to a moon, take the rover out, drive around. Dragonfly also, although I've heard the Dragonfly is almost unusable. It's very buggy. So definitely.
I was able to fly it around outside of Olisar. I didn't.
We're
care
saying in the planetary atmospheres, it tends to like do a lot of rolling, and
yeah, took a little getting used to. When I launched the Nox the first time in the hangar, it fell over onto the ground like it didn't have a kickstand.
I just got another tweet. Star Citizen version build 673332 blah 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 blah, but is now available via the Delta Poucher and people can patch.